Hello there, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm working on redoing the Minecraft village. I don't know, I just got inspiration one day and I logged on, found a random Minecraft village that just so happened to be abandoned, and decided I wanted to redo it. So the first thing I did is I laid out an outline for the fence, which probably wasn't smart. I probably should have done this last. Um, but I just really wanted to give it an outline, and I saw a really cool, like, fence design, I guess. And so I decided to put my take on the fence design in the video. So I do like I use stripped oak and spruce, and I put the spruce behind the oak to give it kind of like a layered look, um, if that makes sense. And then I come around and just I get rid of that whole little weird section out in the corner because I don't like it, which is what I usually do. Anyways, and then I come through and I just kind of layered it out. I gave a bare minimum to all of the, like, planks and stuff. Not planks, logs. Because I wanted to have, like, a staggered look. And when I do a staggered look, I like to put a baseline in. That way I know kind of the height. So I did 3 blocks for the stripped oak, and I did 4 blocks for the stripped spruce. Before just kind of coming around, and I come back in and I texture it. Then I put spruce stairs all within, just to give like a more sloped look. Sorry, my voice is cracking. And then I do oak, or oak trapdoors on the oak. And yeah, I really like how this looks. I also add in, well, here you can see I'm adding in the texture, just making it a bit uneven, to make it look kind of cobbled together and thrown together. Not really like a perfect one. And I kind of like that look. I like that vibe. I feel like that fits the village vibe, if that makes sense. And here you can see I go through and texture the other ones to look similar, but I try and keep them shorter than the spruce in the back, just because that's kind of the vibe I was going to go for. And then I come through, I put buttons on top of the oak and fences on top of the spruce to further push that height difference, and I do like how that turned out. And it just kind of, it looks a little bit intimidating but still hobbled together, and like it was a last minute thought, which I like the look of, especially with a village. And then I also add in shelves on the inside of the spruce, just to add more of a sloped feeling. And I like, they kind of look nailed in, and that's kind of the vibe I was going for. And yeah, I like how it turned out. Now, the first house I did is the simple, normal village house, and I went through and I just got rid of all the stuff that looked decayed and kind of falling apart, and added in cobblestone. That way it still looked hobbled together, yet more smooth and just a better feeling overall. And then I went through and I added in just oak planks and just smooth oak, whatever you want to call it. And then I just put it together, and it looks very hobbled together yet also smooth, kind of like how I think an old village house would look. And then I just put a little bit of shaping on the outside of the house, just to add in a little bit of extra detail. I went back to my roots with the trapdoors because I love that look. I just think it looks so cool. And then I decided to do something I saw the other day where you add in, use the backside of the shelves. I think it looks really nice. And then I added in some detailing on the roof before copying and replacing all of the houses that were this style around the village. Now, the next house I decided to do is I know what to call this, the weird one. It has like a pyramid on top, And on here I decided to do something different. I just completely redid the roof. I hated how the roof was just a weird pyramid, so instead I made it go 4 ways and kind of stick out on the ends, and I really like how that turned out. And then I used smooth oak planks, logs, whatever, and birch logs to kind of give a feeling of like worn downness. And I think I kind of prefer this to the first build I did. And of course lanterns to just give some light because there wasn't a lot of light. And keeping with that cobblestone foundation and using the shelves as a sort of shutter. I've seen some other designs I kind of prefer over the shutters, but keeping it simple, I kind of prefer just shelves. So you can see it's really simple, and I'm really trying to keep it simple, yet also just make it that little bit more interesting to look at. Now on the next house is the double doored house, and I really like this one. Mainly I like the fireplace, and I just kind of want to redo it. So I started with the interior and kind of looked up a design that I liked using granite, which is weird. I don't usually use granite. Showing it to you. Whoops, that is my bad. Anyways, I think I show a different angle. But anyways, it's just a really nice chimney and a simple look that adds a bit more, because I don't know why they did that cobblestone weird look when you already have bricks and granite that just look so nice. Now I tried to make the entire house out of cobblestone this time because of the fireplace, and then adding in some supports. I actually changed the door from a 2-way to a 1-way because I like that little asymmetric vibe that it has going on, with the door on one side and the porch on one side and the chimney and fireplace on the other. And yeah, I added in some stone to help texture it, but other than that I kept it really simple, once again using the base design and then adding in some more spruce to the actual, to the roof, just to add in, a little bit more to look at. I don't know what I'm doing here, but we're going to ignore that. And yeah, here you can see just adding in that little bit of texture. And I think it's a really nice, simple build that still enhances the gameplay and the feel of the game. And the next house we have is another just simple 2-door. And this time I just went around the outside and I kind of repaired it first so I could look at how it would look if it was normal. And then I decided to go back and use the stripped birch and stripped oak to just place it around the house and give the weathered look once again. Same with the shelves for those little shutters, and I kind of like how it turned out. Then doing the texturing on the roof with the spruce, like I've been doing. I'm trying to keep the same vibe, so a lot of this looks very, very similar and is very, very repetitive, but it's just, if it looks good. And then also these two houses were very close together and I wanted more space, so I just ended up using World Edit to push it back. And this is just a simple house that I like how it turned out. And for the next house, we have this funky little house. I really like this house, actually. I like the design. I think it's funny and just a little bit different in a nice way. I like all the supports. So I just went through, repaired the house, and then I wanted to work on the roof a little bit because it's kind of weird that it doesn't go all the way, it's not symmetrical. So I kind of switched up, made it, actually symmetrical. Then I just did the strips, oak logs and birch, add in some texturing on the roof, and it's a really simple design. Once again, it's just a little bit different and just enough to make you kind of look at it for a bit longer. But I think this is definitely one of my favorite designs because it just looks so smooth. on another note, there's this house, and I don't know, it looks so weird. I think it's the stained glass. It's just so weird, and the clay is not it. So the first thing I did is actually replace all the clay, because I hate it. It looks so bad. But I went around, repaired everything after that, and then added in some detail. I extended the front so that's not a staircase into a door. It has like a little ledge, because I kind of like that. And then I redid the side roof so that it was just a bit more textured and just looked a little bit better, because the old one was so flat, and this is more detailed, more, you know, modern-ish. And I did something different on the roof this time. I actually put like a outline before texturing, and I think I should have done this on like most of the builds, because I do kind of like how it looks. I think it also might just be personal preference, but I mean, let me know. I like how it looks. I think it's just enough detail. And then I add lanterns on this little corners just for that little bit of extra light and boost of the build overall. Alright, for the next house, I actually moved it from a different spot because it was so crowded over in that corner. And then I terraformed the land a little bit just to make it look a bit better, and worked on a different house. I don't know why. And I kind of struggled for this one. Back in the day, it was my favorite, and now I kind of just don't know how to feel about it. I wanted to keep it stone and cobblestone, at least on that side, but I didn't know what to do with the awkward little house on the other end. So I just went around, I replaced the pillars to give it more of like a structured look, but the oak and the coloration was just not there. So I actually decided to go ahead and use cobblestone on all sides. And then make it a flat roof instead, because I think it would just look more stable if it was a flat roof and not like a flat roof with another thing thrown on top. And then I went around and threw cobblestone everywhere. I was not feeling it though, so I actually go back and grab stone bricks and just redo that, and throw in some smooth stone, of course, for a little bit of texturing. And I think it turned out good. I'm still not huge on the floor being cobblestone on this one, but it's not the worst. It's not my favorite, but it's definitely not the worst. And here is the final house that I am working on. It's another, I don't even know what this house really is, to be 100% honest. But I don't mind it. It's something, but I don't mind it. So, yeah, I went around, I changed out the supports, I added in, or I repaired the roof. Why do I keep disappearing? I love time lapse. Anyways, I go and I add in like a spruce outline to this one instead of doing like the detailing thing, because there's a lot of supports and I think it looks cool to like outline every single support. I'm sorry if you can hear my dog in the background. And yeah, then I went through, I used the same blocks that I've been using on like everything, and yeah, I textured the ground a little bit more to add more cobblestone in that weird little fence area. And then I kind of moved the houses around a little bit just to give more space. And then terraform the land just a little bit, because it does annoy me how close this one house was to the fence and the other house in itself. So I just rearranged it a little bit terraform the area, and yeah, this is the final. Alright, and for the final part of this video, I will be doing the like marketplace, kind of. Oh, and I did the farms. I replaced them in a different spot, because I feel like it looks better if they're all together and not just sprinkled around the village. And then I come to do the marketplace because, I don't know, they're kind of just basic and weird, and I didn't really have a design in mind. Usually I come into this with like a design, so I kind of experimented. At first, I'm so sorry if you can hear my dog. I don't know what's wrong with her today. And I don't mind this design from this angle, but from any other angle, it doesn't look good. So I went online and I found this other mini market from someone online. I couldn't remember. And then I changed a little bit about like the base and the height, and ended up using that. And I do like this one a lot better, and I feel like it's more put together even though it has less wool. And yeah, so I take this design, I actually make it a bit shorter. I feel like it's really tall right now and kind of awkward. But yeah, I go around, make it a bit smaller. That dog, oh my god, what is, whatever. Yeah, I make it a bit shorter, kind of redesign a little bit. This is why I'm a cat person. What is wrong with that dog? Anyways, yeah, I copy and paste it, put it around, and then I make a shorter one. I think it's actually behind currently. I make a shorter one just to have like a little single spot, because I actually live where there's like a whole bunch of pop-up markets like this. And they're really cool to see. They're like, I don't know, they're cool to see the trinkets. And then here we are, the final overview where I actually put in shaders. What is my character doing? Anyways, here is the final overview. I really like it. I feel like it's simple and smooth, yet still kind of that villager look, and not completely redone, just kind of enhanced, which is what I try and do with these sort of videos. So if you like the sort of content, make sure to like and subscribe. I have a whole bunch of videos similar to this, where I do other stuff, or just building in general, and I'll see you in the next one.